Hello, everyone, and welcome to another great episode of Gridiron Glory here with Will and Tad, where we focus on all 32 teams for the NFL. Today, we have an exciting matchup between division rivals, the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons, with the Saints coming away with a massive 20-17 home victory. The Saints improved to 3-7. The Falcons fall to 6-4. And yeah, these are two teams that whenever you see them get on the football field together, you can tell that they just don't like each other. The fans don't like each other. The players don't like each other. This is an old-fashioned South rivalry between two teams that are just willing to lay it all on the line. And in this matchup, the Saints, the
And
underdogs, got the best.
and Tad, specifically the Saints and the Falcons. Yes, Tad. Where would you rank this rivalries amongst the rivalries in the NFC?
I'd say top five.
Okay. I mean,
Um,
the best rivalry in the NFC is obviously Green Bay Chicago, but
yeah, that one probably a few in the NFC East that would be ahead of this one, but I think this is the best rivalry in the South for sure, just in that area. But yeah, the Saints, they have Derek Carr back and they look like a more competent football team, which makes sense. 16 of 25, 269 yards, two touchdowns, zero interceptions, a clean sheet for the offensive line, no sacks allowed. Big work there being done. The addition to the receiving cores, Marquez Valdez Scantling, three catches, 109 yards, and two touchdowns. After seeing this, what do you think he brings to this receiving course, and how can he revitalize the offense?
yeah, when I look at a guy like Marquez Valdez Scantling, I really hope I said that all right. Yeah, three catches. Tad, obviously, I mean, a beautiful receiving day. I mean, when I look at the stat line, three catches, 109 yards, two touchdowns, three targets, 67 yards. To me, I think Randy Moss on Thanksgiving, I mean, it literally gives me that exact kind of a vibe. I mean, just extremely efficient. I mean, that's what you truly, actually, really want to see out of a wide receiver. Like, you don't want to see a wide receiver get a bunch of targets and catches for minimal yards. Like, if you can get like just a few catches and targets with like this kind of production, that's truly what you want to see, and that's truly efficient from a wide receiver, such as what Marquez Valdez Scantling did in this football game. And I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him in his kind of a younger career. Sixth year out of Utah, was originally drafted by the Packers. And I mean, yeah, these two touchdowns were his first two of the season. Easily the best game of his season that he had this game. Outside of that, I mean, only six catches, 140 yards, two touchdowns. So, I mean, really a very quiet season all season long for Marquez Valdez Scantling until this specific game. But nonetheless, a beautiful game from him. And I mean, at this point, I mean, yeah, he's a veteran, if nothing else. I mean,
Yeah,
who can definitely be sneakily good sometimes.
yeah, they definitely needed a performance like this in a receiver like that, especially with Olave likely lost for the season. But that's a big addition there. Alvin Kamara had an interesting game, 17 carries for 55 yards, five catches for 54 yards on six targets. So he did what he could to move the offense along. Not the most flashy day, but he did what he could there. Um, the Saints defense. Let's see what we think of this. Ugo Amadi had a big day with nine solo tackles, three tackles for loss. So that is a big performance there for Amadi, the player out of Oregon, now in his let's look at this, now in his seventh season. So definitely a veteran. What's your take on Ugo Amadi, the safety out of Oregon?
Um, Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a solid enough safety. Um, can definitely make plays at times.
for sure. Yeah, but it looks like the Saints, they have some solid safeties. I mean, obviously we know about Tyra and Matthew had the interception as well, so a big day there.
Tyrann Matthew, definitely a seasoned vet on that defense, a vet,
Mhm.
definitely a leader there. It should be worth noting that he was drafted in 2013 at LSU. He was the
Mhm.
he got picked in the third round at Tad. He was the 69th pick in the draft. So I think that tells you literally everything you need to know about Tyrann Matthew's goatedness. So former Cardinal, now Saint.
Yes, that tells you a lot about Mr. Matthew there. So we know what we got there. A very disappointing performance for Atlanta. In the whole, Kirk Cousins, 23 of 38, 306 yards, no touchdown, one interception, sacked three times. So not getting the ball in the end zone there for him, that hurts. Bijan Robinson did score twice, 116 yards, two touchdowns for the youngster. Um, and one of the more disappointing aspects of the game for Atlanta was their generally reliable kicker, Young Wei Koo, going 1 of 4 on his field goals. So in a 3 point loss, obviously that's a big deal. So just a tough one there for Koo.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt about that for sure. Young Wei Koo, a bad game, but still nonetheless was. I mean, you just got to bounce back from it.
Yeah, and I mean he's made a lot of kicks. He's won them a lot of games. So I mean this one it's in a way this one's kind of on him, but he's put them in the win column more often than not. So I mean, just a blip in the road for him, but we'll see if it becomes a concerning trend. Hopefully for him it doesn't, but definitely disappointing there. Looking at the receiving, they got Drake London back, 8 catches for 97 yards for the young receiver out of Southern California. So he did what he could. Darnell Mooney, 5 for 96, also an efficient day there. So it feels like the Falcons offense, they moved the ball fairly decently. They just, for one, they couldn't convert into enough touchdowns, and for two, they missed the field goal. So it doesn't feel like the Falcons offense had all that bad of a day, like looking at the stats and seeing what we saw. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, yeah, the stats definitely say what they say, but Tad, it's yeah, this was just kind of like a just. I mean, this it happens in these
It
rivalry games,
happens,
right?
yeah.
It just so happens in the NFL, and it happens in these rivalry games. I definitely don't think that this game defines the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think this one
No, definitely not.
loss defines them as a team. I just think that, it just the Saints got the best of them. And I mean, it's not like they weren't competing or didn't try. Like I said,
Mhm.
John Robinson did get that run at the end. They made it 17-20. So uh, again, this is just the kind of game for the Falcons to me where it's like one game doesn't define your season.
No, certainly not. This was just the case of the Saints. They made the plays that you have to make to win a football game, and the Falcons didn't. I mean, that's just sometimes that's going to happen in a rivalry game. Well, it can happen in any game, but specifically in a rivalry game, I think that's a little more likely to see that than a regular game.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really touched much on the. I mean, Derek Carr. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, the two touchdowns and everything. Yeah, Tad, where would you rank Derek Carr when healthy amongst the starting quarterbacks in the NFL?
I think Derek Carr is the literal definition of a veteran, if nothing else. When I think of Derek Carr, I think that he's not exactly a guy that's going to do a whole lot to elevate your team on his own, but if you put him in a respectable enough situation, he can make the plays required to win a game. He's not going to like make the outstanding play that's going to like take a team that's not very good into a winning situation, but he can be a respectable quarterback. I'd say pretty average, pretty middle of the road.
A middle of the pack quarterback.
For sure, a veteran if nothing else. The literal definition.
Cameron Jordan. So he kind of had
Yeah,
a flashy game this go around. The seasoned veteran out of Cal. So yeah, 3 total tackles, 2 total. Uh, let's see here. He also had a sack and a tackle for loss. So a good game for him there. Chase Young. He's another guy that I'm kind of impressed with. The fourth-year player out of Ohio State. 12 solo tackles, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble so far on the year. So the Saints defensive line really got after it and pretty much stopped. I mean, it seems to me, Tad, that what this game really kind of came down to was the Saints kind of dominating the line of scrimmage.
yeah, definitely to an extent they dominate the line of scrimmage. They did, like we mentioned, they did let Robinson have a big day on the ground, but other than that, I mean, they, like I said, we mentioned the 0 sacks as well, so they kind of did well on both sides of the ball in the line of scrimmage. I mean, the offensive line, they deserve a lot of credit for the work they did in this game.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it. The Saints win 20-17. Next week, the Saints will be playing the Cleveland Browns at home. And then the Falcons go on the road into the Mile High City to play the Denver Broncos. A rematch of the 1998 Super Bowl. Yep. So, those two franchises have had a crazy journey since then.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Falcons went back to a Super Bowl. The Broncos won another Super Bowl. So that should be an interesting matchup there.
It should.
Honestly, Bo Nix looking to get a bounce back win against. I mean, both teams looking to get bounce back wins in the Mile High City. So should be a fun game of afternoon football there. And then Saints in Cleveland. I mean, to be honest, I'm expecting that game to be a pretty gritty game, Tad. I just got
Yeah,
a feeling it will be.
definitely with oh, that'll be a revenge game for Jameis Winston too. With the former Saints quarterback now playing with Cleveland, so we'll see how that goes. Could be interesting storyline there.
I didn't really have any other final thoughts or takes on this game unless you did, sir.
Yeah, I think I'm good to go.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow all season long. This is the Gridiron Glory.